Well, my friends, we're going to whine a lot today. That's right! I told you there's a lot of crying and trucking, right? And now it's my turn. My turn! Yes. All right, so as we know, actually, let me start here. Let me start with how this morning started first, and then we'll go into the worst day that I've ever had as a truck driver. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? I need to take that jacket off. What's up, everybody? How are you? How are you? This morning was really bad. I got up and there was snow around my truck, and I knew, hey, you know what? We need to get a running start when we pull out of this spot. We need to go. So I did my pre-trip. I did everything. I'm ready to roll, right? I'm excited. I'm excited for another day of trucking, because this trucking just pumps through my veins constantly, right? So I throw her into low, right? Because I got this badass 18 speed, right? That none of you can drive, just me. It's like Thor's hammer. Only I can wield this 18 speed truck. You guys might be able to drive other 18 speeds, but not this one. This one's too much for you. This one's too much for you. But anyways, I noticed they had a little pickup truck out there, and he was plowing, right? He was plowing, and there's two different kinds of people in pickup trucks that plow, and there's two different kinds of plowing. So I can make sure I'm explaining the right one to you. Let me tell you, there's the one guys that plow, as in, you know, getting all the ladies in their pickup trucks. They're the guys that got like the big old stickers on it that say something weird like "Dodge the father, ram the daughter." Not what I would put on my pickup truck. So we're not going to put that on my pickup truck. So we're going to put on a better sticker, right? A better big old sticker. And it's going to say, "I'd rather be coming than stroking." No, you know what? I don't want that one on my pickup truck either. I'm just going to settle for a nice set of truck nuts instead, because what I'm trying to tell you is nothing gets the ladies dripping faster than broadcasting your fragile masculinity all over your pickup truck. And those guys do a different kind of plowing. Not pounding, that would be weird. Plowing than we do. We're over here saying, "Damn, son, save some for the rest of us." Well, this was a different kind of plowing. This was a guy with a snow plow on the front of his pickup truck, which I know is a necessary thing, as he was plowing the snow in the truck stop parking lot, right? Now, I was aware he was out there, and he's an important villain in today's story. So I'm up in my big old truck, right? Not that little candy-ass truck he's driving. I'm in my big old truck, right? And I put her into low gear. We're just gonna crawl out of there, out through that snow, right? So I start rolling, and I'm like, oh, we're home free. I'm pulling out of my spot. I'm getting ready to go. Here comes little plow boy over there in his pickup truck, right across the front of my truck, causing me to hit the brakes and stop right where I was. And you know what happened? I was dead in the water at that point. Once I went to take off again, my tires started spinning, and I went, son of a bitch. God damn it. So I know there's a lot of different suggestions for how to get your truck out of the snow when it's stuck. I don't have any kitty litter with me. Maybe could have gone in and bought some. Maybe the truck stop had some. I don't really know. But what I did, because as I said, I am the world's greatest trucker, undisputable and undeniable at this point. I'm sorry, guys. The amount of people that get angry about that is the reason I keep running that joke, right? I mentioned doing things that are a little out of the ordinary in trucking to get one specific crackhead to finally acknowledge that I'm a real trucker, just because it would absolutely crush his soul to finally admit it. So when I got to do, like, I got to chain up, or I got to, you know, do whatever kind of crazy stuff that comes along in trucking, I always make sure I throw it in a video, and he won't acknowledge that I'm a real trucker. Instead, he'll spend the next 12 hours of his life cracked out, just complaining about how I'll never be a real trucker. And it's kind of a troll at this point, guys. I'm sorry that maybe some of you aren't all in on that joke, but it's a sort of a troll at this point. So what I did for that crackhead, so you can waste your night tonight when you finally wake up at 11 o'clock tonight to start your next bender, is I just threw 2 chains on my tires to get out of my spot, right? But just one on the front axle, drive axle on the passenger side, and one on the back drive axle on the driver's side, and I just rolled myself out of there, pulled around a fuel island, which is bad news for little plowboy over there, because I was pissed. I was pissed that he slowed me down and caused me to stop. And first thing this morning, I'm out there throwing chains on the goddamn truck. I was fucking livid, and I was about to drag him out that truck and show him a little bit of trucker justice over on the fuel island. And I didn't know what I was going to do with him yet. I already had my chains out, so maybe Plowboy was going to have a really sexy time over on fuel island, or maybe he was going to catch a thrashing from those chains. But lucky for him, the little devil on this shoulder shut up, and I just put my chains back in my damn truck, and I went back along whatever. I went back to my day. You can still see I'm a little frustrated by it. I was pissed, guys. Oh my God, I was so fucking mad that this guy caused me to stop. And maybe he just didn't know I was going to pull out. It's probably an innocent mistake. It's not a big deal. But every time he would drive by and I'm out there chaining up, I'd be over there flipping him off. I'm over there flipping the guy off every time he drives by. Like, I would stop what I was doing to crawl out from under my truck, because I'm listening for him, get out from under my truck, and as he passed, I'm flipping him off, and then I go back under and do what I'm doing. But eventually, I think he got the point, because he steered clear of me. I don't see him anywhere here, so he must have got the point. Stay away from me. I'm a very dangerous man. I'm a very dangerous man. So, what I want to talk to you guys about is literally try to be serious for just a minute. The worst day I have ever had in my trucking career. Now, I know that if you're a trucker, which a lot of people that are truckers watch my channel, I know at this point I'm just preaching to the choir. I had so many Snapchats from people that were shut down at truck stops for days at a time, or, shots of them on the road, and the road was just ice and trucks everywhere, and tipped over trucks and jackknife trucks, and it has been absolute chaos for a lot of us out here right now. So I understand that we have all been going through it, right? And we've been having a really rough, I'd say at least last few days, but maybe week, maybe longer. I managed to avoid what was some really bad areas, which surprisingly I think was like Iowa and Kansas and Nebraska and things like that were just getting absolutely hammered. And those places do have winter, of course, so it's not that surprising. But I think I did better, except for this one day, which was Monday. I think I did better than most of you guys out there that were out running around the middle of the country, just like absolutely getting fucked over there. I mean, I had to chain up, over on the West Coast, over in Oregon. You guys saw that video. Well, maybe you guys saw that video. It didn't do too well, so maybe you guys saw it. But other than that, I was doing really good, right? Now, I'm down there on I-5, right? Was anybody else there Monday? Yeah, Monday on I-5, Southern Oregon. I know of at least one guy that was, so I got to give that guy a shout out because I thought it was pretty cool. I'm driving down the road and I am not happy. I would barely call it driving, but we'll get to that in a second. Not because of my skill level, but it was a fucking shit show down there. And I'm driving and I hear somebody blow their air horn next to me. You know what I'm in the mood for? Not fucking that. I am not in the mood to listen to somebody blowing their air horn anywhere fucking near me. I don't know. I don't want to know shit. If there's something wrong with my truck, I don't want to know about it, right? If I'm doing something wrong that's bothering you, I don't want to know about it. So I hear this air horn and I just grab tighter on the steering wheel. I'm like, son of a bitch, what does this guy want? And the truck to my left, because I was in the right lane, he had to slow down, and that's who honked. He had to slow down so I couldn't see the driver anymore because traffic in front of him slowed down. And then I calmed down a little bit, because you guys have to understand, right? Sure, I'm like tell a lot of jokes here on YouTube, but I'm a grumpy old motherfucker, right? I really am. So I'm like, okay, I calmed down a little bit. Maybe this guy does need to tell me something important about my truck. So he pulls up behind me and he's like motioning for me to roll my window down. And so I roll my window down. He goes, hey, you do those YouTube videos, right? And I said, hell yeah. And I pointed out the window to him, and then he just drove on the way. So that was actually pretty cool. Hope you're watching this one and hope you survived, because you know what I'm about to talk about, because it was an absolute shit show, guys, down there in Southern Oregon on about Monday. So I had Google Maps on and everything. Now somebody's gonna say something. I wasn't using Google Maps to navigate the truck. I was using Google Maps to show me the slowdowns on the road as I was going. And there was one spot that said it's like a 37-minute slowdown when traffic first started to slow down. I'm like, okay, 37 minutes, I can live with this. It's not a big deal. It's no big deal at all. I pulled up to that sumbitch where everybody was stopped at. 2 hours and 38 minutes I recorded off duty. Come on. You're not going to sit in traffic and record that shit on duty or driving or anything goofy like that. 2 hours and 38 minutes I recorded just sitting there before traffic finally starts moving. Before traffic finally starts moving. People were actually getting out of their cars, guys, and talking to each other. And one guy was in a car next to me at one point when we were stopped, and he was old as shit, even older than me, if you can believe it. And he walks over and he's like, hey, I got to take a leak. And I was like, that is fascinating news. I'm so glad you came to tell me that. And he said, well, my car is like too short. I can't be just standing out in front of that taking a leak. He says, can I stand in front of your truck? And I said, yeah. I mean, there's an opportunity I might get to see something, right? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. But I said, yeah, go ahead. You can piss in front of my truck all you want. And he did that. But anyways, we end up on this stretch of road, I-5, Southern Oregon. That is just 2 hours and 38 minutes, right, that we spend there. And then finally traffic starts moving, and the roads are pretty good at that point. They're not really bad at all. Maybe a little bit wet. I don't remember, because after I tell you guys this story, I'm just gonna block this day out of my mind forever, like it never happened. But we finally start rolling, and I'm getting pretty excited, right? Oh yeah, we get her going. We get up to 30 miles per hour and we're trucking. Traffic's all moving. I'm like, fuck yeah, home free. Here we go. We roll about 3 miles when traffic stops again. Traffic stops again, and we're just sitting there, and Google Maps is showing like a 15-minute delay. Okay, fine. We can handle that. But once traffic starts moving again, I never even have to take this truck out of first gear, because we roll along at 3 miles per hour. Now, I had a pickup at 2 o'clock that afternoon, right? I noticed it was getting closer and closer to that pickup time. And I realized I'm not going to make it. So one of the times that I'm stopped, my dispatchers are kind of weird. They don't like phone calls. I don't fucking know. So I had to wait till the truck was stopped, send them a message, say, hey, I'm not going to make it to that pickup time. Do you know how late the shipper is open? Now, hours and hours go by after that of me driving 3 miles per hour, and dispatch never says anything. So the next time I'm stopped, I call this place at 4:30 p.m., guys. And I say, hey, I'm 55 miles, this is important. I'm 55 miles south of you right now. I said, I'm supposed to pick up today. I just wanted to find out when you guys are leaving. And she says, she was a very nice lady, which is pretty rare. People are rarely nice to truckers. But she's like, hey, we normally leave right now. We were just getting ready to head out the door. But hey, you're only 55 miles away. It's 4:30 p.m. You're only 55 miles away. She didn't listen to the part where I said I was stuck in traffic, I guess. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I told her that. And she's like, if you can go ahead and just get here another hour or so, we'll get you loaded. It's no big deal. And I told her, I said, I'm not really sure that I can get there in another hour or so. So if you guys are going home, that's cool, but will you load me tomorrow? She said, oh yeah, if you're not here, we can load you tomorrow. It's no big deal. It was a very small shipper, which I love because they still act like fucking humans at these very small businesses that are shipping. You know, if you pull into anything ran by Capstone, you might as well forget about having the rest of your life if you show up late, because Capstone wants you dead. Capstone wishes death on truck drivers. It's true. Look it up. It's on the internet. It's on the internet. So if you show up late, it's on the internet now because I just said it. There you go. Allegedly, shit, I don't need any legal trouble. Allegedly, Capstone Logistics wants all truck drivers to die, and they want to run out the clock. They want to lock you into a dock until you die of natural causes, right there on the dock. And the good news is, not only does your family have to pay for your funeral now and whatever expenses it's going to cost to move your stinking body back home, and they got to get your truck all cleaned out, and now they just lost their main source of income because you're fucking dead, right? The good news is Capstone's only going to charge you $295 to get the truck unloaded. So that's the really cheap part. Thank you, Capstone Logistics, for being such sweet, awesome people. We need more like you. So it wasn't Capstone is the point. It was just a very small company, and they said, yeah, come in the morning and we'll get you done. We'll get you done, right? So I spend the next, okay, I was 55 fucking miles south, guys. 55 miles south at 4:30 p.m. I spend the rest of my life, it feels like, in my truck, in the right lane, traveling somewhere between 3 and 5 miles per hour between stops that would last for an hour at a time, where you would just sit there. You would just sit there for an hour at a time. And I got to back up a little bit. When I was way down southern Oregon, let's say Roseburg, I think that sounds about right. They have a Love's there that I pulled in to fuel. I forgot to tell you guys this part of the story. I pulled in there to fuel, and they said cones in front of every pump, and every pump had a sign on it that said out of fuel. Well, I guess the fuel truck didn't get there. I don't know. I didn't go ask questions. Well, my company only fuels up at Love's. Well, you can get fuel at other places, but you have to call them, get them to open up your fuel card. I should maybe look into getting my own fuel card. I don't really know. Never mind. I'm not going to do that joke because it would be taken so far out of context because it's a different video. There's a certain group of truckers that really love discussing fuel cards, and I can't do it here because the context would be fucked, and then people would be like, Josh is doing hate speech right now. So that's not what I want to do. Anyways, if anybody wants to tell me about an awesome fuel card, I'll listen. But okay, so I was at 1/8 of a tank when I pulled into this Love's. I was like, I'm going to be absolutely just fine to get there. All the pumps are down, right? Now, I know that my company will open up the fuel cards, but they say we cannot open up the fuel card for Pilot Flying J. Well, the next truck stop, the only one before all the traffic was going to stop, was a Pilot Flying J, and there was nothing else. There was other places once you got into where all the traffic was stopped according to Google Maps. So I pulled into the Flying J, and I got in line at the fuel pump, and I called dispatch, and I said, hey, I need the fuel card open for Flying J. I was kind of playing it a little bit ignorant at the time. And she goes, we absolutely cannot, no way, no how, open up the fuel card for Flying J. I said, okay, I hear you, but I have an emergency. See, I tried to stop at the Love's down south of me here, and they were completely out of fuel. I was going to fuel up, and I couldn't. They had no fuel. I said, now, I got here, and this is as far as I can go. This is as far as I can go before I'm stopped on the side of the road with no fuel in the truck. So we need to come up with a plan. Now, if that plan is me using some of my own personal money to put fuel in the truck, just, 20, 30 gallons, I'll do that, because I'd rather do that than sit on the side of the road. And I didn't even know how bad it was about to be for me yet. I had no fucking clue. I just knew there were some slowdowns ahead of me, according to Google Maps. So she's like, let me see what we can do. And she comes back and she's like, I just don't really know. I said, you got to find out. I said, or we're going to have this truck broke down on the side of the road. And I don't want to deal with all that. So lucky for me, sometimes I'm not very assertive, guys. Lucky for me, I was assertive, and I told her what was going on, and it had to happen. One way or another, we had to get fuel in that truck. So she comes back and she says, okay, Josh, we can make it work at Flying J. She said, we got to jump through a few hoops to do it, but we can do that. She said, but what I needed to do is be there at the pump when we do it, because it times out after like 15, 20 minutes, and then we have to repeat the process. I said, perfect, good news, I'm at the pump. I was just pulling up to it. The driver in front of me was leaving. I said, I'm here now. She said, okay, give me just a few minutes. We did it. We got 30 gallons of fuel in the truck, and I hit the road. So anyways, where was I? 55 miles south at 4:30 p.m. They said they would stay open late for me. I said, just call it a day. Just call it a day, right? Go ahead. So we spend all day in this stop and go, right? And I'm getting to the point where my clock is running out. And not even go, really. 3 miles per hour was our go. That was our top speed when we were moving. So I'm starting to run out of hours, right? I'm just running out of time. The 14 is ticking against me, and there's nothing I can do about that, right? Even though I was logging off duty for the long stops, I don't care. Get me in trouble. We're outlaw truckers, baby. We have to do what we have to do sometimes, right? Was I technically off duty? Technically not. Was I doing anything? Nope. Just sitting there in traffic. That's what I was doing. So as it's getting closer and I'm starting to run out of time, I start to notice that all the on and off ramps are completely packed full of trucks. Everyone you pass, and you're only passing them every couple hours or so. They're a mile apart. Well, maybe they're more out there, but like we weren't really in a city. But they're however many miles apart, and you're only passing an off and on ramp every few hours if you're lucky, right? And every one of them are full. And as we continue to go, as it starts to get into the night, because it's really starting to get late now, right? The whole interstate is just lined up with truckers just calling it a night. What else could they do, right? What else could they do? There's just not enough parking down there to handle a situation like that, right? So everybody's just calling it a night. They're parking right on the side of the interstate. Now I do see, and I'm not being a rat, those guys can deal with their own, however they want to run their own damn truck, but I do start to see trucks from my own company parked on the side of the interstate and on the ramps and stuff like that. Well, not only my company, because my company has a strict no parking on the interstate and the ramps policy. And look, this was an extreme situation, so I understand that. I didn't get truck numbers or anything, and I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. But this was a very extreme situation, definitely out of the ordinary, right? So I understand why they were doing that, and they were running out their clock and everything. Well, I also have a strict policy about not parking on the interstate or on and off ramps, because I just don't want to fucking deal with any hassle if somebody smashes into my truck. I always park in a truck stop, and if that's not available, casinos are always a good option for me, and rest areas are my last choice. For some other drivers, it's their first choice. That's where they want to go, rest area. That's cool. For me, it's my last choice, and I'm starting to notice this is just getting really, really, really bad. So I'm looking around on Trucker Path, and which I shouldn't have said their name, because when I had my big channel, they tried to like give me a sponsorship, and I kept asking them how much they wanted to well, we need to talk about money, right? And they would always send me back an email saying, well, we'll give you a percentage of every person you can sign up to our premium service. Nobody buys Trucker Path premium fucking service. Knock it off. You're gonna pay me absolutely fucking nothing to say your name all over my channel. There you go. There's your shout out, Trucker Path. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyways, I'm looking at Trucker Path, and there's a truck stop, maybe 3-4 miles from me. Well, obviously, that's packed full. The whole damn roads are packed full. Of course the truck stop is. So I see that there's a rest area. I'm like, I doubt it, but maybe, right? Guys, this rest area is 8 miles away. 8 miles away from me. It took me 7 fucking hours to go that 8 miles to find that not only was the truck stop, the rest area packed full of trucks, but for miles in each direction, the ramps for the rest area, why do I keep forgetting that name, are just lined, right? And you couldn't even get in the rest area because some guy parked his truck in front of the ramp. Fine, it was extreme circumstances, I get it. Parks it right there in front of the ramp, closes his curtains and calls it a fucking night. You can't even get in to the rest area, right? We've got trucks jackknifed over here. We've got trucks turned over there. I didn't see a whole lot of wrecked trucks, if I'm being honest with you, but I saw some that went to go to the shoulder. There's a clearing on the shoulder, and they got too far down it, and then they're over there with a tow truck getting towed out because they can't pull their truck back up on the road. And that's no fun. You don't want to do that. That's another reason I don't use the shoulders, especially when they're covered in snow. You don't really know where it ends. When you find out, though, it's not a good day. It's not a good day. So, man, we're just rolling, right? And off in the distance is, what's that, I forget what the town is. It's the bigger town, but there's, Springfield. It's not Albany. I think it's south of Albany. I can't remember. I can't remember. But I'm seeing that on my GPS, right? Like, okay, we're getting close. It took me for fucking ever to get there, guys. And I ran out of stuff to drink in the truck. I know, I'm kind of a shithead sometimes. I still need to go grocery shopping for the truck. I still need to do all these things, and I haven't done that yet. And I've been back out on the road for a year because I'm apparently fucking dumb. And I never see the need to have that stuff with me. Well, in wintertime, duh, that's how you end up as a fucking news story. Another trucker found dead in his truck because he didn't have proper supplies for winter weather. That's gonna be me one day because I'm not very fucking bright, apparently. I just hate going to the store, man. Apparently, I hate living. I don't fucking know. But I'm like so thirsty. I'm like just fucking dying. And when we get up to that, like around the Springfield area, finally, guys, it's getting late. It's 10:30 at night, let's say. Around the Springfield area, I noticed that traffic starts to like lighten up just a little bit, right? So I move over in the left lane because there's truckers in front of me going 3 miles per hour. And the left lane I notice is clear, right? So I get over in the left lane, and me being the world's greatest trucker, I get in that left lane and I fucking hammer down, son. That's what the fuck I do, right? And I get this big rig up to about 30 miles per hour, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about comfortable right there, right? About 30, right? And I'm just stuck behind, oh my God, this guy's about to take the front of my fucking truck off. Jesus Christ. Okay. Crisis averted. I think he slid on the ice trying to back in next to me here at this truck stop, and he just slid straight towards my truck. But hey, he pulled it off. No harm, no foul. Good for him. Good for him. I'm not that guy that sits up in the front watching everybody. I'm just happened to be here while he sort of slid out from under his truck over there. Oh, he's still moving. Well, he's gonna hit me yet. he's back to get the job done, my friends. He's back to get the job done. Anyways, I noticed though that I'm passing this huge line of fucking trucks, and it's just blowing by them at 30 miles per hour, right? And off in the distance, I'm coming up on another truck in the left lane, and I can tell that this guy is barely fucking moving, right? And he's in the left lane, and I super trucked on his ass, guys. Because I was sick of it. I gotta be honest with you. I was enraged getting towards the end of this trip. I mean, I threw my hat at some point. Like, we started moving, and we must have got up to 10 miles per hour at some point. And I went, oh, fuck, here we go. We're finally going. And then I see brake lights, and we stopped, and I just chucked my fucking hat. Fuck this! And I thought about every decision I ever made in my life that led me to being a trucker at that exact moment, at that very place, that point in time. And I was like, if I would have done one goddamn thing different, I'd be like on vacation in the Bahamas right now. But here my stupid ass is sitting in fucking traffic. And I started thinking about everything I've ever done in life, right? Anyways, there's this truck in the left lane rolling with all the line of trucks in the right lane at their same speed. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I super trucked on them. I came all the way up on that motherfucker, flashing my fucking high beams, hitting the fucking air horn, and just like, get the fuck out of the way, fucking move. And I'm just air horn, right? Lights flashing, fucking go, motherfucker, go. So he turns on his blinker, and they make room for him to move right. Then I hit it, boy, and we were going 30. 30's pretty crazy, right? 30's pretty crazy. Well, imagine my relief when I started finally fucking moving. I started finally fucking driving, and I'm just going. And then we get past like that Springfield area. The roads start to clear up even more. And my God, we got this rig up to 60 miles per hour, and we're just hammered down. We're going. And I was like, oh my God, this day was literally the worst thing, because it was like psychological warfare against you, because every time you thought you were going to go, you had to stop again. And I was getting so claustrophobic because there were just trucks around me, like the whole shoulder is lined with trucks, and there's a truck in front of me, and there's a truck to the left of me, and there's a truck behind me, and I was like starting to literally lose my fucking mind. I couldn't take it anymore. And when it finally opened up, it was just this like huge like sigh of relief, like, oh my God, it's finally going to be over. And by that time, I was running on a personal conveyance. I had to. I mean, I couldn't just stop. There was nowhere to go, literally nowhere to go. And I was almost expecting to hear from safety on that, because I was on personal conveyance for like 2 hours, but where the fuck was I going to go? There was nowhere to go. So I think they probably went, yeah, what the fuck was he supposed to do? But I was on it for a while. And I pulled up into, honestly, one of my favorite spots, guys. If you're ever there, over there in Oregon, running on I-5, somewhere out there between, like, you know, that area, there's another town there, and I keep thinking of Springfield, but there's another, like, the bigger town that's there. But somewhere between there and, like, Salem, there's a truck stop called the Pioneer Villa. Have you ever been there? The truck stop's kind of crappy, but they got, like, maybe you want a night out of the truck, they got a motel there. You could get you a motel room. I've done it a number of times. And then they also have a restaurant for those fat truckers like me that like to eat, but they also have like a bar and grill side of it. So hey, that was a good place to be shut down. I didn't go in at all that night. I went the fuck to bed. But that was a really good place to be shut down if you had to be there for a couple days. Not a bad place to do it, right? Get your motel room. Maybe your truck's snowed in, right? Carry the PS5 over to a motel room, play some games, fucking, and then you know, if you feel like getting drunk, go do that, right? Not a bad place at all. One of my favorite places in the country, the old Pioneer Villa over there. If you guys ever want to meet up there, that's what we should do. This guy trucks meet up sometime and just like flood the Pioneer Villa with our goofy asses and get fucking hammered sometime. That'd be fucking fun. But there was no parking spots at all. Everybody was getting real fucking creative there. So my goofy ass is doing something I've never done before. I just parked out in the middle of the goddamn lot. And I got out and walked around, made sure, can this guy get out? Can these guys get out, and all that? And I actually put a little note on my windows on both sides, like, knock if you need me to move, like, because I'll get up and I'll move the fucking truck. Let's not bang into each other. But it's like, I'll get up and move the truck if I need to, but I'm parked right in the middle of the son of a bitch. And boy, I crashed the fuck out that night. I passed the fuck out. But it was just so horrible, just sitting there all fucking day on that interstate. Anyways, my break's over, and I need to go get something to eat and get back on the road, because now I'm really, really far behind on this load, right? And if I can't get it there by Friday, I have to sit on it all fucking weekend, which is going to be a 2,300 mile week, which isn't a bad week. But if I can get it delivered Friday, my company pays you on what you're dispatched on for the week, right? So I know if I can get it there Friday and get it delivered, they'll dispatch me on at least another 1,000 miles to run me through the weekend, which now brings me up to 33. So in the next video, maybe I'll let you know, did I make it by Friday or not? We've got 1,666 miles to go, and it's Wednesday afternoon, baby. I'll let you know how we did. It's not looking good. See you guys next time. Bye now.